Okay, good morning and welcome to Mishna Yomi, Mesechas Kilayim, Perek Hey, fifth Perek, Mishna Dalid and Hey, fourth and fifth Mishnah. Start from Mishnah Dalid. Gefen Shehin Tua Begas of Maneka. Here I'm going to be talking about a singular vine. A singular vine that's planted in a gas, wine press of a neka or in a ditch, a hole. Nos lavudasa v'zoreas amosa. According to the Tanakama, you're allowed to distance six tfachim, only six tfachim. It's not considered a kerem, which a vineyard is only one vine. A vineyard would have to, we saw it has to be, according to some opinions, 2 rows of two and yote zanav, or at least 2 rows of three normally to make it a kerem. This is not a kerem, this is just one vine. So therefore, your mark is six tfachim, and you plant the rest. You can plant whatever you want there. Rabbi Yossi Omer Mein Sham Arba Amos, Liyavi Zera L'Sham. Yossi says no, that you have to. We're going to explain according to Radir Bartanura. We're going to see in Inot Ben Zion, in Mishnayos, we're going to see a different way of explaining Rabbi Yossi, and it's a fundamental way of explaining the din of Gefen Yechidis, of a single vine. Rabbi Yossi says, no, even in this case, when it's planted in, Gefen Yechidis is planted in a ditch, you have to distance 4 amos. You have to distance 4 amos like a karam, like a vineyard. The Mishnah concludes that if you have a house, you have the middle of a big vineyard, and you have a house in the middle, I guess the farmer, I don't know, lives there. So if you want to plant inside your house, no problem. It's completely a different rishus. There's no problem with being a mixture with the outside camera, even if you plant right next to your walls. Mishnah Yarek Bekarim Omakayim. Let's say you have a big vineyard and you plant a vegetable in the middle, Omakayim, or you had it there and you left it and you knowingly left it there to grow. Harizim Makadesh. We learn, Pasuk says, Pain Tikta Shamlea to us a Karem. The Pasuk says, if you leave or you grow Kilayim in your vineyard, it's going to be Makadesh. It's going to make the Gafanim, it's going to make it Aser Bahana. It's going to make the grapes and the vines Aser Bahana. You can't even benefit from that. How much does it Aser if you have one Yarek in the middle? Harizim Makadesh Arba V'chamesh Gafanim. In a normal case, it would make 45 vines asr. Amasai, what is the case? Right, we said the minimum amount of space between rows in your vineyard is 4 amos. That's the normal way. Sometimes 5 amos, sometimes 6 or 7. If it's 8 amos between them, they don't combine to be a vineyard. So in the case of 4 or 5, let's start with the case of 4 amos between them. So if you have 4 amos between them, so therefore we learn that from the din of karachas, like Karen, on bald spot in the middle of Karen, that if you want to plant something else in the middle, you have to make sure it's 16 amos by 16 amos. So therefore, on each side, from where the yarek is, you have to extend 16 amos to each side. 16 amos to the left, 16 amos to the right, west, east, 16 amos to the north, 16 amos to the south. That's 16 amos. So that would be a 32 by 32 square. If you take, now if you have 4 tfachim by 4 amos between each shura, so it would end up being that you would have, it would come out, if you do the math, that you would have 7 rows of 7 vines, which would be 49 vines around this vegetable. 7 rows, that's 49 vines. Now, but it's a circular way. We do it in a circle. We don't do it in a square. So you do the circle, so you take off the 4 corners, so like with 45. And even if you had 5 amos between them, we would make it a little longer. We'd say instead of 32 amos, we'd say 16 amos to each side. We'd say 20 amos to each side, because we want to include, it's going to be less than avodas akarem between the outer vines. So therefore we'd continue the line, extend the border, and therefore it would be 20 amos on each side, which would be 40 amos by 40 amos. And again, if you take a circle, you would end up with 49, excluding 45, excluding the 4 on the corners. But Hayinatuas al sheish al sheish al sheva al sheva, it was 6 amos or 7 amos between the rows of vines. Then we go back to the regular halacha. You extended 16 amos on each side, and therefore you're only going to end up, in the case of 6 amos between the rows, you're going to end up with a total of 24 vines that'll be usher. If it's 7 amos between the rows, you'll end up with a total of 21 vines that'll be usher, because there we're not gonna extend the 16 amos, because it's already distance more than 4 amos outside of the 16 amos. The next row is more than 4 amos outside, so we wouldn't include it, and therefore you'd only answer 24 and 21 respectively in the case of 6 and 7. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in Iyun and see you in Mishna.